Feel the drums, hear the sound, ancient wisdom spinning round. From every tribe, from every shore, Diidii, Storyfire, hear them roar.
In the bustling city of Accra, Ghana, under the shade of a sprawling mango tree, 22-year-old Kofi ran a modest food stall. His shack, pieced together with weathered wood and corrugated iron, stood along a busy street in OSU. Kofi sold jollof rice, wache, and fried plantain, his hands moving swiftly to serve hungry customers. His clothes were faded, his sandals nearly worn through, yet his face always carried a warm smile. Kofi had no family, orphaned at a young age. He lived in a cramped room with no electricity or running water. Despite his hardships, he greeted every customer with kindness. "Welcome, madam." "Good day, sir," he'd say, his voice bright even on the toughest days. His stall was a haven for workers, students, and passers-by, drawn by the aroma of his cooking. One evening, his friend Nana Ya, a fruit vendor, paused by the stall. "Kofi, why do you smile so much when life is so hard?" he asked. Kofi chuckled, wiping sweat from his brow. "Smiling fills my heart when my pockets are empty." Nana Ya shook his head, amused, but Kofi's words lingered. Though he had little, Kofi often gave food to those who couldn't pay, believing kindness was worth more than coins. Every afternoon, a familiar figure appeared at Kofi's stall. An old man, whom Kofi called Uncle Kwame, wheeled himself slowly down the dusty road. His wheelchair creaked, one wheel wobbling precariously. His clothes were tattered, his legs wrapped in faded bandages, and his face was weathered by the sun. People whispered as he passed, some laughing, others turning away. "That dirty old man," they'd mutter. But Kofi never looked away. One scorching afternoon, Uncle Kwame stopped by the stall. "You're back, Uncle," Kofi said gently. "You didn't come yesterday." The old man's voice was faint. "I was too weak," he admitted. Kofi glanced at his stall. Only one serving of wache remained, his own meal for the day. Without hesitation, he scooped it onto a plate and set it before Uncle Kwame. "Eat this," he said. Uncle Kwame stared at the food, then at Kofi. "This is your last plate." Kofi nodded. "I'll cook more tonight." The old man's hands trembled as he ate, his eyes glistening. A passerby scoffed. "Why feed that beggar, Kofi?" Kofi smiled. "If I were in his place, I'd hope someone would feed me too." Uncle Kwame became a daily visitor, always arriving quietly, never begging or asking for anything. He'd sit in his rickety wheelchair, head bowed, hands resting on his bandaged legs. Kofi never failed to serve him, sometimes jollof rice, sometimes plantain and beans, always with a smile. The people of OSU noticed, some mocking Kofi's generosity, but he paid them no mind. One afternoon, as Kofi handed Uncle Kwame a plate of jollof rice with a piece of fish, a sleek silver car pulled up. A man in a tailored suit stepped out, his shoes gleaming. He ordered a plate of wache, but his eyes kept drifting to Uncle Kwame. Kofi noticed the man's gaze linger, his expression curious, almost puzzled. The man paid, glanced at Uncle Kwame once more, and drove off without a word. The next morning, Kofi swept his stall and prepared his pots, expecting Uncle Kwame's usual arrival. But hours passed, and the familiar creak of the wheelchair never came. By noon, Kofi's heart grew heavy. He asked Nana Ya, "Have you seen Uncle Kwame today?" Nana Ya shrugged. "Maybe he's gone to another street." Kofi asked a TRO driver and a group of schoolgirls, but no one had seen him. For 3 days, Uncle Kwame didn't appear. Kofi's smile faded. He served customers, but his thoughts were with the old man. At night, alone in his dark room, he held the plate he'd last served Uncle Kwame. "He never misses a day," Kofi whispered. "Fear not at him, something was wrong." On the 4th day, as Kofi chopped vegetables, a black SUV stopped in front of his stall. A man in a crisp blue suit stepped out, handed Kofi a sealed envelope, and said sternly, "Read it. Tell no one." Before Kofi could ask questions, the man was gone. Trembling, Kofi opened the envelope. Inside was a single note. Come to Golden Tulip. Hotel at 4 p.m. Tell no one. A friend. Kofi's heart raced. The Golden Tulip was a luxurious hotel, far from his world of roadside stalls. He clutched the note, unsure but determined. At 3:30 p.m., he locked his stall, hailed a taxi, and headed to the hotel. The building loomed large, its glass facade sparkling. A security guard checked the note and waved him in. A man in a black suit led Kofi through a grand hallway to a polished wooden door. He's waiting inside, the man said. Kofi pushed open the door and froze. There, in a gleaming new wheelchair, sat Uncle Kwame, but he was transformed. His hair was neatly trimmed, his face clean. His clothes a crisp white suit with a gold watch glinting on his wrist. Uncle Kwame? Kofi stammered. The man smiled. My name is not Uncle Kwame. I'm Dr. Mensa, a billionaire. Kofi's knees weakened. He sat as Dr. Mensa explained. I own businesses across Ghana, hotels, schools, factories. But I disguised myself to find true kindness. You fed me every day, Kofi, asking nothing in return. That's why you're here. Dr. Mensa leaned forward. Each year, I choose 5 people who show genuine compassion. I help them change their lives. Then, to Kofi's shock, Dr. Mensa stood from the wheelchair, steady and strong. You can walk. Kofi gasped. Dr. Mensa nodded. I used the wheelchair to test people's hearts. You passed. Dr. Mensa led Kofi outside to a convoy of SUVs. They drove to a quiet street in East Legon, stopping before a stunning building. Its sign read, Kofi's Kitchen, Taste of Home. The restaurant was breathtaking, marble floors, crystal chandeliers, and a state-of-the-art kitchen. Dr. Mensa handed Kofi the keys. This is yours, a place where the elite will dine, and you'll never struggle again. Kofi's eyes filled with tears. He stepped inside, overwhelmed by the gleaming tables and the aroma of fresh paint. I don't know what to say, he whispered. Dr. Mensa smiled. Your kindness said it all. Months later, Kofi's kitchen was the talk of Accra. Kofi no longer cooked. Professional chefs and waiters ran the restaurant, while he managed from a sleek office. But he never forgot his roots. He launched Kofi's Care, a charity delivering free meals to Accra's poorest neighborhoods. Every week, food trucks bearing his name fed children, elders, and families in need. One day, as Kofi handed a plate to a young boy, a worker asked, Why do this when you're so successful? Kofi touched his heart. Kindness gave me this life. I must give it back. Under the Ghanaian sun, he looked to the sky and whispered, Thank you, Dr. Mensa. Kofi's story spread across Accra, inspiring others to give without expecting reward. His restaurant thrived, but his heart remained humble. The lesson was clear. Kindness, no matter how small, can change lives in ways we never imagine. This story reminds us that true kindness, offered with no strings attached, can bring unexpected blessings. It's a powerful reminder to look beyond appearances and see the humanity in everyone. What did you think of Kofi's journey? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment below. And if this story touched your heart, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with someone who might need to hear it. I've got another great story coming your way very soon, so make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when it drops. Thanks so much for watching. I truly appreciate your time and support. See you in the next one. Bye.